One, two, one, two, one, two. We are back. Episode 244. What's a podcast? DJ Jerome Baker the third. We are here. Shout out to my guy, always available. Hashtag she or Eddie.
What's up,
International
fellas?
Eddie.
You know what I'm
International
saying?
Eddie.
Shout-
Worldwide.
And shout out to my guy, Don't Model Abdul.
That's the name. Okay.
Don't
All
Model
right.
Abdul.
I see where this is going.
You know,
All right.
patreon.com/what's a podcast. We appreciate everybody who's been listening, who's been subscribing.
Yeah.
The free tiers thumping.
No doubt.
But the paid tiers are
Oof.
they're moving units.
Listen, the numbers are going
Moving
up.
units.
I don't know what to tell you.
Pay.
Shout
Pay
out,
for-
Sign up.
shout out to the $20 tier. It's
Yeah.
surprising and is a blessing.
Listen, if you hit that paid tier, we got some nice things coming your way around March 1st. We got something real special, obviously, with the Wizards coming up. We might have
Abdul will model for your brand.
Abdul will model for your
lookbook.
I am
brand.
available for all modeling gigs.
Yeah.
Abdul, your lookbook.
We might have a special What's a Podcast St. Patrick's Day function. You never know. You know what I'm saying? You might catch all three of us
St. Patrick's
in the
Day.
building.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We got to tap in with all major holidays.
You're right. You're right.
Um,
Happy Black History Month, y'all.
Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Do remember, though, patreon.com/ what's a podcast and youtube.com at what's a podcast 8716. We've got a lot of things coming up with the YouTube channel that are going to be, keep the YouTube channel popping because we're here to get that money and YouTube is where it's at, along with the Patreon. So, we'll just keep an eye out for that. But yeah, fellas, we're here. We're back in the building. You know what I'm saying? We're making it work. I don't know who that is, but okay.
I didn't write it.
Yeah, you gotta type that in there. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's big things happening, potentially. Big things happening. You know what I'm saying? That Sierra Leone and Baltimore Air Force One is on the way. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
we cooking.
Is on the way. Clearly, if you live in Washington, D.C., if you follow us a podcast, if you follow myself, Eddie, well, Eddie's not really on Instagram, myself, or Abdul, you will know that this past Saturday, there was a panel presented by Hypebeast, New Balance, and a locals streetwear store called Somewhere, honoring Dominic Adams. Is that his last
Yes,
name?
yeah,
Adams?
that is his last name.
Dominic
Yep.
Adams, who is the manager of
The
Somewhere.
owner. The owner.
Well, I was going to say manager and owner of Somewhere, and they have a couple different locations in DC. And so, Abdul and I had the opportunity to just pull up on. There was a panel started at 1 due to Abdul's. He lives in a good part of town, so we were there early. You know, what I'm saying?
Abdul's punctual.
Punctual is not the word. We were early. We were very early.
Early is on time, bro.
We were there at 11. Okay.
Okay. He was hoping to get some free shit. He wanted to pull up early before they ran out. Did you get a new pair of V6s, V5s?
We did. We both did.
Yeah,
Actually.
we did.
Oh, you did
We
too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, so that's.
DJ the event.
I mean, shit.
Yeah.
I would have showed up at 11.
You were international with it.
Yeah,
I was there. What you mean?
I know. You were still international. You came with a 10. You can't come with a 10.
I came with a 9.
Yeah, Eddie came with a 10 and no jacket, and it was dumb cold outside.
It was 27 degrees.
The jacket was at the shop. I had to pick the jacket up.
So the panel was at this really cool art gallery in Union Market here in DC.
Chilla Mitchell Gallery.
Yeah, and it was a black-owned, cool little space, man. Literally little. You don't even feel like you're in DC in that part of town, man. It feels like you're in Gotham City or something like that.
Yeah.
And so again, the panel starts at 11. Before we even get to the panel, physically, before Abdul runs into some dude he knows, right? I forget what he owned, but it was some. and then we get to the spot, and we get there early. We just like scoping the scene.
Oh, my man Clint from Turning Natural.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. So we just peeping the scene, man. Yeah, made all the proper introductions. Obviously we're there early, so it was cool just to get situated, and it was just a lot of love from just people who were hip to this event, who are New Balance fans, who probably shop it somewhere, who
Yeah.
probably look at Hypebeast. There was a ton of young individuals, men and women, black, white, everything else, who just were there to show their appreciation, and to give their respects and to participate in a community event. Like, 'cause that's really what it turned out to be,
Yeah.
was a community event. Um, and I believe that Abdul, outside of consistently reminding everybody he was the oldest person on the panel, was just very like forthright and honest with his experiences with New Balance, and sneakers in general. It wasn't just about New Balance, but it was a lot of sneakers in general. You had Ian, who very much had a business angle on it, and then you had Dom, who kind of he really played devil's advocate on a lot of things that were spoken about. You know what I mean? Just to give a different perspective, right?
Yeah, from a business point of view and being in the retail business as an owner.
Yeah.
Yeah, he highlighted a lot of points that I was like, oh shit, I never thought of it that way. And they all made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
now mind you, it was a shorter panel. The panel was only for an hour, but it felt like it was a very long time. One, because we're standing on concrete, and two, we had been there for 2 hours already before it started.
We had been there for an hour before.
But I mean, when you say this thing was packed to the walls, like, I really hope that once the event lands on the Hypebeast page, people get to see how ill it was, because man, it was something special. I think that it was, I've been involved in DC streetwear for the past 17 years. I can't recall anything like that ever happening before. I may have missed some events here and there, but for something like that, where the community actually got to give back, give their opinions, hear from respected and like really well tapped in individuals, it was great. I mean, to the point where I think it was Eddie and I stepped out with 5 minutes left, and there were still 10 people trying to get in.
Yeah.
And they're clearly explaining to people like, hey,
We're done.
5 minutes, it's over.
Yeah.
There's 5 minutes left.
Yeah.
So it was a wonderful, wonderful experience.
Yeah, it was a great turnout.
And a great turnout. Eddie showed up. We, what I'm saying, we got in the door at a proper time, and then Abdul did his thing too.
Yeah, man, I actually really enjoyed it, man, and I think it was just one of those times where, I think New Balance and the history of that brand as a whole and what it means to this area, DC, Maryland, Virginia, Baltimore, is it this area just has such a huge impact on the brand, and where it was, financial success at a time where they weren't what they are today, and the dedication of the people in this area to keep the lights on and in that office, so to speak. I think it's a beautiful thing, and I was glad to see the brand understand that, but also understand that they need to do more in different ways for the people of this city. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. And yeah, we had a good time doing it, man. It was a nice turnout. A lot of people showed up. It was dope.
It was an interesting comment section.
Yeah.
Or question and answer section, I should say. Very interesting question and answer section, because that's when you heard a lot of people's frustrations and or desire for New Balance to do more in the area.
Yeah,
I don't think that's what the panel was about, though.
It wasn't. However,
it turned into that.
When you give people that opportunity, they're gonna take it and run with it. For example, there was a map of Washington D.C. at this panel. Now the map was a terrible map, right? It was very short, very small. I think I don't even know what that map.
I think it was just like northeast and
not even.
No,
it was
not
like
even.
it
was like northwest, really.
Yeah,
It was Well, actually, it wasn't even all of Northwest because it ended in Columbia Heights. That's
Yeah.
as far north as the map went.
I think the
That's
map
way-
was meant to highlight Georgetown, truthfully, because that's where the New Balance store is going to be. So I think that
Okay.
was more so the centerpiece, because there's a lot of people question like, "Hey man, I'm from Southeast, I can't even." So with the map, they had these thumbtacks and a hang tag that you would write something significant in a place in DC, and a lot of people couldn't nail their thumbtacks because the part of DC that they represent, from, grew up in, et cetera, was not on this map.
Yeah.
Right. So that was a little bit of a point of contention.
I mean, they definitely
Or
fumbled that.
That was a little
yeah,
fail.
that was a
Yeah.
little bit of fail. You know, and some of the questions I think were very ambitious. I think there were questions that would be difficult for any brand to fulfill, because at the end of the day,
And like
it's a,
those questions that they were asking, the people that they need to ask them to weren't there.
it was beyond the scope of the people who were there.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? And not to say that they can't take part in answering those questions or making
Yeah.
them come to life, but their specialty is not that per se.
No.
Their specialty is, you know what I'm saying? Yo,
They're
I
a
got
marketing
this.
team.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was very, but it was also very, very good to see people show respect. I saw multiple kids walk up to Abdul and, just thank you, man. I appreciate you. I follow you. I this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? It was cool to see, and just hear Ian's opinion and hear Dom's opinion as well, and beautiful pictures spread throughout the gallery. You know,
Yeah, the pictures were fire.
They were like
His photo shoot in the gallery was dope.
Crazy. So we
Yeah.
slide from there about 2:15, hit
Yeah.
Union Market, gang up, and shout out to Red Bull Vic. He was in the building. Shout out to our guy.
He was at
Christian.
Union Market.
Yes.
Or he can. Nah, he was at. He
he's
was in
there
the
later
building
that
late
night.
night. Yeah.
Shout
Okay.
out to our guy Christian.
Shout out to
rolled,
Christian.
Shout out to
Yeah.
Christian, man.
Christian rolled with us, our guy.
Yeah.
And then we all dispersed for a little bit. Go ahead.
Shout out to the homie Daniel, man, from Kids of Immigrants. Also a brand based out of New York, LA, that was also in town, and he came down for the panel as well, and also came to Union Market with us.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we disperse, and then we fall back through later that night around 7 for the after party, hype beast somewhere.
I can't front. That party was fun, man.
That was one of the best little streetwear parties ever. Like
it was a nice vibe in that joint. We had a good time.
It felt just like it felt like we were in New York. It was a very New York like party. Again, something that I don't know if that's something happened in DC before because of the size of the party. All they did was turn some uplighting red, had me DJ, and the space was rocking. It was a good time.
Space was rocking. It was also like an invite only party. So whoever you invited, I think 90% of those people came. So, it was just like it was everybody who was in there was supposed to be there. You know what I mean? It was one of those type of joints.
100%. Everybody's supposed to be in there. It was a good mix. I saw everybody from, the Hypebeast staff, the New Balance staff. So I think one of those ASAP kids was in there.
Yeah, shout out to my man Addy. He came up from Emo.
Yeah, the dude.
Yeah.
So Soda was in there. Then you saw again, like community activists like Tony Lewis Jr. is in there. And just a good cross section of people. And then there were just some random folks who just got in. Shout out to my guy Stereo Faith. He popped up. You know what I'm saying? It's a large amount.
Yeah. We missed you at the party, International Eddie.
Yeah, I had to lay it down.
Oh.
I had to lay it down.
Shout out Experience. Experience was in the building too.
Shout out to Experience, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Experience. Experience told me I need to get a fire stick, and he's gonna walk me through how to jailbreak the whole thing, and then we're gonna make that into a Patreon episode for everybody.
Yo, that's actually perfect.
Listen, I just made that up right now, but as I was saying it, I was like, that actually
you could just screen record it while he's showing you how to do it.
It'll be a great Patreon episode.
We'll do it because I need one too.
All right. I already ordered it, came in, and I just got to hit him up to have him walk me through the whole thing. So, yeah, that would be a good Patreon episode. How to jailbreak a Fire Stick.
You got to be careful with that, though. You got to unplug it once you go to bed because you don't want your kids surfing through all the channels because you get everything.
Oh, I see. Okay,
So
maybe I'll just put it in my bedroom then.
Yeah, you do that because they could definitely skip through like channel 700 and it'd be like
got it
100 channels of porn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My main purpose for getting it honestly was to get like all the soccer channels.
Yeah,
and
you get
stuff like that.
Every movie, everything.
Yeah, and I slowed down. I actually hit him up to get it when the African Cup of Nations tournament was still happening, and he was like, "Yo, get this in, and we can work through it." And I ordered it. It came in, but by then I had like a bootleg link in place, so I never like pursued it. Like I wasn't pressed to get it as I was earlier. You know what I mean? Because the tournament was kind of winding down, and I had like a link that I was watching the games on. But now I need to really do it. We're gonna make a Patreon episode out of it, as well as I can watch like all my Premier League games, and I got Champions League games on Paramount Plus, but I do need all Premier League.
Is it the Fire Stick free?
No, you got to buy the Fire Stick. I bought it on Amazon for like $30.
You know what else? You know what else is not free?
Patreon.
Is the rest of this What's a Podcast
Let's
episode.
Go.
We want to thank you if you've gotten this far. We hope that you could have we wish you could have made the panel in the party. We hope you can find a way to hear the rest of this episode. And the only way to do that is going to be by joining patreon.com/What's a Podcast.
Yep.
We'll see you next week.
We're signing off.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.